Hey, what up everybody, Stevie Breach coming to you. In this video, I wanted to talk about my top 5 Royal Rumble moments of all time. The Royal Rumble is one of my favorite matches of all time, and I think mostly the match is overlooked because of how it sort of is a big stipulation style match with just being tossed over the top rope and you're eliminated, and the match basically keeps on going until there's one person left. I don't know many people who put a Royal Rumble match in their top 5 matches of the year, or top 5 matches, or top 10 matches that they've ever seen, or anything like that. But basically, I love the Royal Rumble because I love to see people beat the crap out of each other, and I love to see people beat the crap out of each other over and over and over again. This match, for the most part, doesn't really have any starts and stops. It does have some slow points when basically you're trying to eliminate people and people are up on the ropes, but it seems like with so many cameras and so many different angles, there's always something going on in this match. And there's something always in order to, sort of catch your eye and, keep you interested in what's going on. Very little time to ever run to the kitchen and grab another soda or go to the bathroom. You're pretty much glued to the TV for an hour plus until you get down to the last guy, and hopefully your guy comes out the winner. I only picked the top 5 moments. I easily could have done a top 10 moments. I didn't name, Ric Flair winning the WWF Championship the first time ever. The Rumble decided, who was going to be the champion, because the title was upheld because of Undertaker and Hogan and Ric Flair and all their stuff with Tuesday in Texas and Survivor Series and everything like that. I could have picked I was going to say the last Royal Rumble I went to, but that isn't the truth. The first Royal Rumble I ever went to, Triple H winning it in 2002 in Atlanta, coming back from the quad injury, where he went on there to WrestleMania to beat Jericho. There's also Batista and Cena coming down to the final 2. I don't think that's going to be in very many people's top moments, because of the fact that, Vince got hurt tearing his quad coming down there after Batista and Cena screwed up the finish of the match. And it's kind of funny that even though they screwed up one of the biggest moments of their career, they still went on to have huge careers. And, WWE at the time didn't really use it against them at all. For my top 5 moments of all time, it was one of my favorite moments as a kid. It's from the 1989 Royal Rumble. It is the beginning of the match, when Axe and Smash drew number 1 and number 2. I can still remember the backstage promos. I love the backstage promos where they used to show the guys with a big old ball tumbler, and they'd reach in and they'd grab the little ping pong ball and they'd tell them what number it was going to be. And they never ever told us what number it was going to be. I remember Axe and Smash both looking at their number and just, it's gonna be a long night. And basically, the match came out. We always knew that there was no rules, there was no friends, everybody was your enemy, because there was only one way to win, and that was dumping everybody over the top. And you could go into it as a tag team, and sometimes we do see tag teams work together, but just as, Royal Rumble 2000, Rikishi eliminated both members of Too Cool, because he knew he had to dump both of those guys in order to move on. The next night, and they moved on to Raw, they moved on to SmackDown. There was no, love lost between those guys. They still went back at it. They still danced again. And that's what Axe and Smash did. They beat the piss out of each other. And I know other tag teams have done this. Basically, the Hardy Boys went at it one time when they had to go at it. But Axe and Smash were the first. And they are my favorite tag team of all time. Number 1, before Legion of Doom, before the Road Warriors, before the Dudleys, Demolition. From there, the number 4 moment of all time was the 2010 Royal Rumble, and the storyline that was survived around it. Shawn Michaels, he had said at the Slammies, I want a shot at the Undertaker. I want to make up for what happened last year at WrestleMania 25. He said he made one mistake, and he wouldn't make that mistake again, and he wanted to have Undertaker at WrestleMania 26, and Undertaker had turned him down. So basically, he knew that because Undertaker was the champion of SmackDown, he was the World Heavyweight Champion at the time, he only had one chance in order to get that done. He had to win the Royal Rumble so he could go on and say he wanted to fight for the World Heavyweight Championship against Undertaker at WrestleMania. Basically, that was his quest that he was going to do. It later led on to him losing his career because of course, he lost at WrestleMania 26. Spoiler alert to everybody out there who hasn't been watching that long. But basically, Shawn Michaels was in this Rumble, and he was going around, and he was, doing everything that he had to do at this point. But he got bumped. and Batista hit him out, and you could see that Shawn Michaels' career, well, not his career, but his whole dream was broken. He went into this Rumble match with one thing: he wanted to win it, and he didn't. And that's when he sort of flipped out. He started super kicking everybody, and it was on to the Elimination Chamber, where he fought in one of my favorite Elimination Chamber matches of all time. Well, he didn't really fight it, and he surprisingly came out from underneath it and super kicked Taker right in the face, leading to Jericho to win, which was the final straw, which Taker said, you know what, you made me lose my title. I'm going to kick your ass at WrestleMania, and I'm going to take your career. Number 3 moment of all time. Oh, the 07 Royal Rumble. When it came down to it, at the final moments, it was Shawn Michaels and Undertaker were the last 2 guys left. Shawn Michaels wanted to go on to WrestleMania. He wanted to fight for the title. He also wanted to win his 3rd Royal Rumble, which put him in an elite class with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And Undertaker was in there. Undertaker wanted to go out there. He had never won a Royal Rumble as well. Oh, no, I apologize, not as well, because I just said the other guy won 3. But he had never won a Rumble, and he wanted to put his name on that elite list. And so these guys went at it. Through all the Rumbles I can remember in the history of going back and forth, it normally would come down to, a Final 4 moment. Every 4 guys would back up, and they'd sort of take a breather into the corner, and then they would go at it, and it seemed like everybody would eliminate everybody just as fast as they could, and there would be 1 guy left over. When they were down to the final 2 in 07, Shawn Michaels and Undertaker basically had a match out there. These are 2 guys that we hadn't seen, have a match because they had been broken up. One was on Raw, one was on SmackDown. Hell, one was retired. I mean, I can't think of them having a match in WWE since basically the Attitude Era, when they did the match at the Royal Rumble, where Taker threw Shawn Michaels over the top rope, and when he came down, his back landed on the casket, and that was, basically the end of Shawn Michaels' career until he came back in 2002 at SummerSlam. But basically, those guys went at it back and forth before Taker finally was able to eliminate Shawn Michaels and win the Rumble and go on. And now that seems to be the common thing they do. You can remember Sheamus and Jericho going at it a few years ago, where basically everyone had predicted Jericho, because he had come back, he was going to win the match. And basically, Jericho and Sheamus went out there and they had a match for about 5 minutes where both guys looked like they were going to eliminate the other guy. They did the spot where one guy was on the other side of the ropes and they're, beating on him. And then finally, Jericho finally gave in and was eliminated, and Sheamus was able to be the winner. For the number 2 moment of all time, has to be easily 2006. John Cena coming back in the number 30 spot when everybody said, he was done, and we were going to be very lucky if we even got him to make an appearance at WrestleMania. There was no way in the world John Cena was going to be able to compete. But he was there, he did, and he won it. I don't know if everybody in the Rumble was told what was going to happen. You can definitely tell when the thing goes off. Triple H really sells the fact that it's going down. Carlito sells it like he didn't know what the fuck was going on. But it is a very, very cool moment. Cena comes in. I can't even remember who Cena eliminates last in order to win the whole damn thing. But it seemed like it was a miracle. It might have sort of took a little bit away from what was the 2012 Hell in the Cell, when they said John Cena was going to come back to fight Alberto Del Rio, because it was like, wow, no way in hell this guy's coming back so fast. But he'd done it before, and he'll do it again. John Cena is Vince's guy. Vince calls him up and says, hey, we need you, John. John's going to be there. Even if he doesn't have the arm, he just tells the doctor, hey, cut the damn thing off. I can wrestle with one hand. We'll go from there. And then what would be the number 1 moment of all time? It would have to be, honestly, one of my favorite moments as a kid. I was a Hulk Hogan guy. Boom! Got the 24-inch pythons going on. And there was a new guy coming around. The Ultimate Warrior. He had been the Intercontinental Champion for a good time after winning it from the Hunky Tonk Man at SummerSlam. Yeah, I think he did. I know he dropped it somewhere along the way and then he won it back. Because I know Rick Rude beat him one time. But, hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm talking about. But basically, the powers, not the mega powers, but it was the ultimate challenge at WrestleMania. But before WrestleMania, we got to see Hogan and Warrior go at it for a good 90 seconds.
when basically they had teamed up and they had eliminated everybody out there, and Hogan and Warrior said, you know what, let's get it on. And, you know, they had the stare down, and they might have done the thing where they ran the ropes like 50 times. You might not have seen a whole lot of action for them. But as a kid, even rewatching this moment now, it is one of the biggest moments in WWE, WWF history to me. I can remember this like it was yesterday. I'm watching it right now. It is awesome. It might be, you know, not everybody's number one pick on their list, but to me, there is nothing as big as this. I know they have done moments where they've had, you know, Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin stare each other down in 2002, and then the Hurricane came in. That was one of my favorite moments of all time, and I didn't even think about that when I was making the list. And I know they've had moments where The Rock and Stone Cold have stared each other down. John Cena and he had one a few years ago with somebody. I was going to say The Rock, but that doesn't even make sense. But I mean, like, they use this. Maybe it was him and Orton. I can't remember, but maybe I'll have to watch the last two Rumbles over again. But it seems like they use that crowd response to see, like, this is what you want to see for Mania? You never know. But that's my top 5. Let me know your guys's. I accept video responses and anything else like that. You know, you link me. I'll watch them. Peace out.